How's it going, everyone? We've got some Dragon Ball Sparking Zero updates and notes to talk about in this video. Quite a lot, actually, as far as an update patch that is scheduled for the end of this month. This is going to be bringing forth with it a lot of fixes and other stability improvements. On top of that, looks like a bit of a nerf is coming for a character that a lot of people are complaining about, and rightfully so. We'll talk all about it, and some of those updates we'll have to see how it is implemented, but I could see it being a little bit concerning. So there's actually quite a lot to talk about, and they have put out an official post on the Season Pass content, the upcoming content. We'll go over that briefly. Again, this is what we outlined yesterday, but there's an official post on it now, so again, more on that in a little bit, but as noted on the Dragon Ball Games Twitter account, an update patch for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is included for around late October, and will include the following: improvement of an issue where some controls become unresponsive during online matches when classic controls are selected. I've actually seen quite a lot of people have this issue. Adjustment of difficulty levels when playing certain stages in episode battle on lower difficulty settings, so that is not going to be affecting the current difficulty settings. We'll talk about that in a second. Adjustment of Yajirobe's stats, which is much needed. A lot of people are complaining about Yajirobe, and I'll get to that in a second. And improved operational stability. Now, the elephant in the room, not to make a joke out of Yajirobe, but an adjustment of Yajirobe's stats. This is something that has been a big discussion point online. Now, the game, as far as Sparking Zero is concerned, balancing is quite a big of a talking point. Look, Tenkaichi and Sparking Zero, I don't expect it to be a game like Fighters or a technical fighting game where every character is balanced. There are gonna be things like Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. I see a lot of people complaining about him, Blue Vegito, the fusion characters essentially. Yes, there are characters that are quite a bit better. I do like the BP system in theory, so if you pick a Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta right off the rip, that's taken up 10 points. I like that system because it allows you to keep the idea of, okay, SS Blue Gogeta, that shouldn't be he shouldn't be as powerful as, let's say, early Z Goku or Teen Goku or whatever the case may be. I do like that there is a sliding scale as far as the power level, because that makes sense. I think when you talk about a game like Tenkaichi, some of the nonsense and some of the characters being OP makes sense to an extent. Then you've got Yajirobe and his damn sensu beans, okay? That is a little bit much. Yajirobe's like, what, 3 points, I believe? And he's just healing himself with sensu beans, and that's just nonsense. I think it's funny, like, the idea of Yajirobe being this hidden OP character. It's funny to me because it's effing Yajirobe. Like, who cares? Nah, not to slight on Yajirobe. I was about to say, who cares about Yajirobe? Shout out to my boy Yajirobe for cutting out off the tail in the early episodes of Z, but bro, it's Yajirobe at the end of the day. Why is Yajirobe like this menace in online play, especially when he takes up 3 points? I think as far as balancing goes, I don't ever expect Sparking Zero to be a perfectly balanced game. I think some of the nonsense is almost funny with a game like Sparking Zero, because I personally, and this is, again, me personally, I'm not looking at this game from a super competitive standpoint where, you know, I expect worldwide tournaments and there to be a huge competitive scene. Maybe there will be, but that's not what I'm looking out of the game. I appreciate, you know, like a SS Blue Gogeta being kind of wild. Like, he should be wild. And this is a game that's more so catered for the anime fans, and it makes sense that some of these characters have more health or are more powerful. That's why I do think the point system, in terms of characters being allocated a certain amount of points, you got 15 points to work with, I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's actually a worthwhile route to go with. And you can, you know, pick 5 characters that are 3 points, or you can pick a Gogeta SS Blue that's 10 points, or you could pick Vanilla Gogeta at 7 points, and then you can get another buff character. I know the duo of Vanilla Gogeta with Ultra Instinct Goku, I want to say. That seems to be a popular duo that I've seen online quite a lot. But yeah, the options are there. But Yajirobe, the issue is, man's 3 points, and again, it's Yajirobe. Like, it's funny. When I saw people bugging out about Yajirobe, I'm like, yo, this is hilarious, because it's definitely Yajirobe. Like, it's so funny to me. But obviously, there's also the standpoint of people just getting absolutely whooped by Yajirobe, and Yajirobe just healing himself. Like, what is this nonsense where he just heals himself to max health and gets so much health back? That it can be adjusted. The idea of getting health back when you power up, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yajirobe just having Senzu beans, that's gonna be a cause for concern and a big problem, especially at 3 points. If we want to make Yajirobe this hidden OP, or just an OP character at like 10 points, fine, that is what it is. But 3 points where you can just slot him into your roster so easily, that's a problem. So hopefully we see some good adjustments on Yajirobe. I'm not saying to nerf him into the ground, maybe, you know, there's a lot of options as far as how you can adjust it. You can even just increase his point allocation, but I think people just want the character to be adjusted as a whole, because the points is only a thing, really, if you want them to be. You can do standard team battles and have unlimited amounts of points, so, you know, for ranked play, it is important, though. Improvement of an issue where some controls become unresponsive during online matches. Again, I've seen that. Adjustment of difficulty levels when playing certain stages in episode battle on lower difficulty settings. That should be the imperative, on the lower difficulty settings. And adjustment is a weird way to word it, in that, is it getting harder? Is it getting easier? I don't know. You know, I never had to lower the difficulty settings. I know, yo, pat me on the back. I'm taking all the pat on the backs for whooping the story mode in this game, because yes, Grade 8 Vegeta, as far as him coming up early in the game, was a little bit wild in that you fight him within the first 20 minutes of Goku's campaign. Ultimately, I too tried him, and really all you have to do is go sparking mode and whoop on him. If you play it quite a few times, I feel like you could figure out, at the very least, some cheese tactics to beat these characters. Fuse Zamasu, though, Zamasu in general was kind of wild. Goku Black, that whole arc, you know, that was a little bit nonsense, but at the same time, like, I feel like all of it is doable if you are playing it. And again, you can lower the difficulty settings, which does mitigate the what-if scenarios, which is a bummer, but on top of that, I like the game being difficult. I know some of you guys are a little bit older at this point, and it's not like the Tenkaichi days where you were a teenager, where you had unlimited amounts of free time just to play the game over and over again. You are coming home from work and you're just getting whooped by a Grade 8 Vegeta. I can understand that to an extent, but for me, the surprise of the challenging level was enjoyable to me, and I hope they don't adjust the standard difficulty, but they are going to be adjusting the lower difficulty. And improved operational stability, I'll do another video on this, but the online play on a lot of platforms for a lot of different people has been absolute trash. Like, let's not mince words here, and it's not a case of there just being a lack of players on Xbox. It's really just the matchmaking is really bad. If you've had a good experience, that's great for you. I'm happy for you. Oh my god, I didn't experience any problems. Yes, I get that, but it's just like with people saying the same thing. Oh, you had an easy time with the Grade 8 Vegeta, but a lot of people didn't. Yeah, that's great, but in this case, it is objectively bad in a lot of cases in terms of getting into a game. There's no subjective opinion as far as Grade 8 Vegeta being too hard. That is totally subjective. Matchmaking being poor is an objective standpoint of so many people facing matchmaking issues, and matchmaking issues prevent you from getting into a game. This is nothing we can really have a debate about, and I want to talk a little bit more about the lack of crossplay, because I think people are realizing, because the people that did buy this game on Xbox, the issues right now seem to be a matchmaking issue, but I think a lot of people are conflating the issues right now with the lack of players on Xbox. I don't think that's the issue right now. However, I'm telling you guys, if they don't implement cross-platform play, the longevity of this game on Xbox and maybe even PC is really gonna come into question. And I'm talking a year and a half from now, but this is a game that you think they're gonna keep updated for years and years and years, much like Xenoverse 2. There's gonna be a point a year and a half, 2 years from now, where on Xbox and PC, there might be a lack of players. On PlayStation, I see it being totally fine. There's gonna be tons of people playing, but cross-platform play is such a standard thing in gaming that me making a big deal about it and then a bunch of people coming to the defense of it, guys, it's a standard thing in video games. You coming to the defense of Sparking Zero, which I am biased towards as well, ultimately, it's not gonna improve your experience. We don't have to be like the Justice Warrior as far as Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and you can't criticize anything about the game. The lack of cross-platform play should absolutely be criticized. The poor matchmaking absolutely being criticized, and it comes from a good place. We just want the game to be better for the long term. The matchmaking issues are inexcusable. That needs to be fixed up. And cross-platform play, I think more and more people are now starting to bring it up because they realize that this could ultimately be a problem. I was talking about it pre-release, and my pre-release video, guys, I got thin skin. My pre-release video talking about this game needing cross-platform play got a bunch of dislikes. You guys hurt my feelings with that, but like, yo, I think a lot of people are realizing it's something that this game is going to need in terms of longevity on Xbox and PC. If you got it on PlayStation, more power to you, but they sold the game on Xbox and PC. Let's get the longevity, and more importantly than that right now, let's get the matchmaking better. Hopefully with the improved operational stability, that will be improving as well. Lastly, they did put out a note on the Season Pass content. Guys, DLC 1 will include characters from Dragon Ball Super Superhero, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and more, you guys. Let me reiterate that, and more. I really do believe Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo. I know in yesterday's video, people were bugging out in the comment section, and I might be wrong, and at that point, I will eat crow, but I do not believe they're gonna roll out a DLC with effing Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 as the headliners. I just don't believe that. Remember, they're gonna be selling this DLC standalone. You think people finna pay $14.99 or $9.99, whatever it is, for Gamma 1 and effing Gamma 2? You need characters that are going to draw people in. A Beast Gohan, a Orange Piccolo, that would be exactly that. I just don't think you can release a DLC pack that's just Gamma 1 and 2 and some nonsense characters. Even if it's Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and then like Cell Max, no, this Season Pass is gonna have north of 20 characters. You roll out a Super Gohan that can transform into Super Saiyan, and then ultimately Beast as well. I know some people also said, oh, Super Gohan's already in the game. That's not the Super Gohan that I'm talking about from Super Superhero. I'm talking about how can we get to that 20 player count, the 20 character count, excuse me. You're not just gonna get 20 characters that don't have different forms. It's gonna be something like a Super Gohan, a Gohan that can transform into Super Saiyan and then transform into Beast, or maybe a Super Gohan that can just transform into Beast. Something like that, so you can take up the character slots. Like, that's how this thing is gonna work. And DLC 2 will be Vegeta Mini and Glorio, but remember, across the entire Season Pass, you will get north of 20 playable characters. But that'll do it for me. Some major fixes are coming for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Yajirobe is getting nerfed, adjustment of difficulty settings, and operational stability. Hopefully that means matchmaking does improve. And a little bit of a reiteration on the Season Pass, but there was a lot of confusion yesterday, and if I would have to personally bet money, I do not think they're gonna release a DLC centered around Gamma 1 and effing Gamma 2. Yes, I know people like the Gammas, but at the same time, it's Gamma 1 and 2. Like, they ain't gonna draw money, so just bear that in mind. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.